Okay, welcome to the Snailed It card kit to go video. So today, these are the 4 cards that were included in your kit, and today I'm going to show you how to put all 4 of them together. I did use this stamp set and these dies, but if you don't have the stamp set, you'll see that some of these images can be cut directly from the designer series paper, and so you wouldn't need the dies either because you're going to be fussy cutting. So, but these are the stamps that I'm going to use today. So obviously if you don't have this stamp set, you can substitute any sentiment that you have that you want to put on your card. So let's get started, and we are going to start with this one right here in the middle. So your card kit will look like this with the red. So what you have inside your envelope is a piece of red cardstock, and get everything else out. You should have a piece of striped designer series paper, a piece of Whisper White. Both of these are 4 by 5 1/4. You also have this piece here, and I'm trying to remember what size it is. This should be 3 3/4 by 3, so 3 3/4 by 3. You also have 2 a scalloped oval and a cut oval. You have this little piece here, that is to stamp this piece. If you do not have the stamp set, then this little guy right here can be cut directly from the designer series paper, and it's this one right here. It's on the piece that's got the bigger things, and I can't remember if I might have already given you one of these, but I might not have. So you'll need to cut that out. And then you also have a smaller strip of that same striped paper. This is a 1/2 inch by 4. It's to go on the inside of your card. And then you have some ribbon. You might have 2 pieces or 1 longer piece. One is for the bow, and on the inside of this card, there's actually some ribbon on the inside right there. So that's what the ribbon is for. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to stamp this little snail right here. So if you have the stamp set, you can stamp your snail and we can color it, or if not, get out your scissors and you can fussy cut one right from the paper. And I think he'll fit on here. Nope, I didn't even give my, oh yeah, I did. Goes this way. I thought, wait a minute, I didn't even give myself a big enough piece of paper. So I stamped this in Memento black ink. That's one of the inks you'll need for this card. The other color you'll need is Real Red, and that's to do the little hello right there. Let's see if I can fit this on here. Yep, he fits. So then I'm just going to take some Stampin' Blends markers and color him in. So I colored his shell in Daffodil Delight. I did his little body in Flirty Flamingo, and the present, one of the presents in Real Red, and one in Bermuda Bay. You can choose any colors you want. I just kind of chose colors that were in this piece of paper right here. So I'm just going to color those in real quick, and hopefully you are fussy cutting, if you don't have the stamp set, your little snail. He goes pretty quick because there's not a lot of intricate lines for him. So do this little present in Bermuda Bay. Use the other end so I can color it in faster. There we go. And do a little, wrong end, Daffodil Delight. I did leave part of his little shell white. So, but you, like I said, you can color this however you want. You could make his shell the Bermuda Bay color. You could make it red. You could pretty much do any color you wanted. That's what's, and if you don't have Stampin' Blends markers, you can use colored pencil. You could use other markers to write on there too. And just going to kind of color this in here a little bit. And I'm going to plug my phone in, so hopefully that'll work. And I just used a little Flirty Flamingo light on his little body here. I'm going to go around it with the dark just a little bit. And what would really be fun with him is to put some googly eyes on him. I do have some. I didn't even think about that. I should have put some in your kit. But that would be kind of a fun little thing to put on here too. Just going to kind of color him in. And then I did take my red, the fine line of the red, and just kind of made his little spots down here. Just kind of gave it a little bit of red on his, I don't know what you call those spots on a snail. Okay. And then you can fussy cut him out, or you can die cut him out. He is one of the dies. And I'm actually going to die cut him out. You can also, with the paper, the die actually fits right on. You can tell that they're the exact same size. He actually fits right on there. So, as soon as I find what I just put my dies. And, all right. I have the plates. There they are. See what I did with them. Ha! They were hiding. So I'm just going to kind of move that out of the way real quick. So by die cutting this, I'm giving you time to cut, so you don't get behind. If you don't, this is have a cutting thing. This is the little mini cutting machine. It's great for small things like this. I'm not sure if you can see or not, but it only weighs about 2 pounds, maybe a teeny little bit over 2 pounds. And it's great to sit on your desk to do stuff, so you don't have to get up, walk across the room, get out your machine, and it's just quick and easy to use. So there we have my die cut. Move this out of the way. And there we have it. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to put him right in the middle. I did put him on dimensionals, so he'll stand out just a little bit. So I'm just going to flip him over. And I actually have a brand new sheet of dimensionals today too. So we're just going to take the backing off of there. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of put him right in the middle. And I'm putting him on first before I stamp the hello, so I'll know actually where to put the hello. So there we go. And then the hello, I'm going to stamp. There's the little stamp. It's really tiny. I'm going to stamp that in real red because it matches our card. So I'm just going to put it right here on the corner. There we go. Close that back up. And now we're ready to put our card together. So I am going to go ahead, since I've got these right here, I'm going to go ahead and just put some adhesive on the back of this and attach it right to my card, or right to the circle, excuse me, not the card. That's not going to work. I'll just glue it, that would be easier. Okay, just gonna flip that over, put that right on there. Just kind of straighten it up a little bit because I got it just a tad crooked. There we go. And now he's ready to go. So we're going to take our card base and we're going to fold it on the crease and just give it a good crease. The first thing that we're going to put on is this stripe piece. It's just going to be adhered right to the center of our card. So I'm going to flip that over. Aren't those snails cute on the back? I almost feel bad about covering them up. And that's going to go right on the front. Nope, not yet. Wait a minute. Take that back. I always forget this. I forget to put the ribbon on. So I have a little piece of ribbon. Actually, we're going to scoot back because we actually have to put this piece on first. So I'm going to flip that over. And you can see how my day's been going so far because I've already made a big boo-boo on this card, but we're gonna get it. So I'm actually just gonna, so this piece is actually needs to go on here first. So if you haven't glued yours together yet, don't glue it quite yet. So there we go. So now I need to put this piece so that it is covering where the two pieces meet, like that. So I'm just going to wrap it right around the end because I already have glue on the back, so it's going to be sticky already. Hopefully it'll stick there. I'm going to flip this over. And if not, I'm going to get my adhesive and put that on there. There we go. And it's okay to put adhesive over top of glue because it will work. There we go. I'm going to put this on this way. It was trying to stick there. There we go. I'm just going to stick it right there. I'm going to flip it over so I can see what I'm doing. So it goes right over. My hand is sticky now. There we go. Now I can put that on my card and it will stick. Ah, details, details. There we go. And I'm just going to wipe my hand off real quick so I don't keep getting stuff stuck to my hand. All right. Okay, now we are ready for this little guy. He's going to go right there. He is going to go on dimensionals. So I am going to grab a few of those. And I'm putting them not where the ribbon is, just so that they won't kind of be lumpy. So I'm kind of like, so the ribbon will go like right through the middle of this, so it won't be in the way. And I'm just going to take these off. And he's going to be adhered right here to the center of your card. And then we'll have another piece of ribbon that you can tie a bow with. And we're going to tie a bow, put it right there. I am going to use a glue dot, so you'll need a glue dot to attach your bow with. And so you might have extra ribbon left over. If you don't have two pieces when you do this piece, you're going to have to cut part of it off, and then you should still have plenty of room to make your ribbon with too. Just going to cut my tails off a little long and get my glue dots and put one right on the back, and just going to attach that right there. There you go. All right, now we're going to do the inside, And what we're going to do, and you will need still a little piece of your ribbon that you have left. We're going to attach this piece to the very bottom. So a lot of times we leave a little space, but this one is going to go right at the bottom of our inside piece. And then we're going to wrap the ribbon around the right way this time. So you can just, so if you use the glue, you can just kind of even it up as you need to. So I am, got a little glue on the back. So I am going to put just a little bit of adhesive right down here at the bottom. Is this the bottom? Yep. Had to make sure. Oh, come on. I think it's being ornery today. It was working great yesterday. Today it's having problems. And I got stuff all over my hand already. Okay, so I'm just going to attach it on the back and then run it all the way across and attach it on the other side. Just going to cut off the extra just like that. And now this is ready to be put, whoops, the thing came off. Let's put it back. It's being ornery here. There we go. And then we're just going to attach this to the bottom of our card. All right, come on. Oh, I see what happened. There we go. I gotta fix my thing here. It was stuck on the other plastic piece, which is why it wasn't going on like it was supposed to. There we go. Then this is going to go right on the inside of our card, just like that. And got a little bit up there. So I'm going to get it off with this little thing right there. There we go. So if you think that this isn't sticking down well enough, you can put a little glue dot underneath it. Just take one of your little glue dots off and just kind of roll it up a little bit so he's skinny. And then just put it right down on the back and flip it over and attach it down. So there you go. So you don't have to worry about it not being stuck down there, because this ribbon is kind of very thin. So there you go. There's your first card. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our second card. I'm going to put these aside. And our second card is this one. And that in your packet looks like this, with the larger white cardstock coming out. So your pieces in there, you're going to have a piece of white. You're going to have two pieces. So this piece of real red that's 4 by 5 1/4. This piece of real red is just a tad smaller. So you'll notice that you'll have two pieces. If you try and put the other piece on, it's going to be too big. This is the piece. If it's the same size, this is the piece that's for the inside of your card. So you might just want to set it aside so that you don't confuse the two, because this piece is going to go right on here. Then you also have a strip, a piece of ribbon, a strip of this Bermuda Bay. It's got kind of like little dotted lines on it. And you have a die cut circle, a scalloped rectangle, and a piece that has hearts on it. When you're putting this on your card, make sure you have your hearts going up and down, because it is directional. So what we're going to do first is we are going to attach these two pieces together. So we're just going to take that and put some glue on the back. So this is the smaller of the white pieces. And you'll know that you have the right piece because when you put it on top, you'll have just a little bit of red showing all the way around. Okay. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to take this piece and we're going to do a little notch on the bottom. If you have a banner punch, it'll punch it out. If you don't, what you can do is, because I actually punched this one with the banner punch, but I know not everybody has them. So just going to find the middle. If you want to measure it, you can measure to be exactly down the middle. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Just going to cut up the middle. And then I'm going to cut from each corner to where my middle, where I stop cutting. So there you go. And you can always adjust it later if you think you don't like it, if it's too long. So that's a little long. So I'm actually going to cut it a little more sideways. So it's not quite so pointy. Okay, so there we go. And then we're just going to glue this piece down now that we have it cut. And here's my glue. And it's going to go right even with the top of your white because you still want the red to show, and probably maybe about 1/4 of an inch over from the edge. It's just going to go right down just like that. And then we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to wrap it around about 2/3 of the way up or 1/3 of the way down, depending on how you want to figure that. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on our other cards. Is I'm going to kind of figure it out kind of about where I want it. It's just about there. And then I'm just going to flip it over so I know where to put the adhesive here and here. So that this ribbon will stick. And then we're going to attach this to the front of our card. This is going to drive me crazy today. So I'm just going to fold that over. I'm going to go across the top. I think I might move it down just a smidge. There we go. And fold it over. And then I'm going to cut off the excess because we are going to use the extra part to make our little bow right there. Whoop. And that is coming off again. There we go. Let me press it down a little better. Okay. So now we're going to take the front of our, going to fold our card. Put that right there. I'm going to crease it really good. And now this piece is just going to be adhered right to the front, just like that. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back. Since glue is handy at the moment. So you can use either glue or you can use the Stampin' Seal. You can use any kind of, double-sided adhesive you have. Whatever you like to work with. And there you go. Okay, so now we're ready to do the other pieces. So these two pieces, you're just going to adhere this piece right to there, to the front of there. So we're just going to put some glue on the back, flip it over, put it on, and then this piece is going to be attached with dimensionals to your card. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip that over and put some dimensionals on the back. And I am going to put them, let's see, yep, this is more toward the bottom. There we we go. So the ribbon will kind of be underneath. So when you're putting this piece on, it does have hearts on the front. So you're going to want to make sure that your hearts are going right side up when you put it on your card. One of the cards I made at Valentine's Day, I did use this paper and I put it on upside down on my card. So I didn't even notice it, somebody else did. So never know. So I'm just going to kind of put that right about there. So it's a little bit to the side. Nope, we're kind of a little crooked here. See if we can move it over. There we go. Scoot it over just a tad. There we go. Okay, and now we are ready to stamp. I actually stamped on here. If you don't have the stamp to do that, you can fussy cut one of these right from the paper, and it's the smaller one. So one of your sheets of paper has large snails and little, I guess a walrus, and the other one has smaller ones. So this is the smaller one. So if you don't have the stamp set, you can just fussy cut one of these out. So I am going to stamp this little guy. He's actually has the little "You've Got Mail" on it. That's part of the stamp. So if you don't have the stamp set, you can stamp whatever you want on here. You can do another little hello if you want, or you can just leave it empty and just have your little snail on it. So I'm just gonna ink him up. Let's do it this way. And stamp him right there. Says "You've Got Mail." And then I just did a little bit of coloring with this one also. I did make the heart red. You can make them any color you want though. For some reason red hearts always seem about right. And then I used a little bit of the Bermuda Bay Light and some Pool Party to do his little shell, his snail shell. So I just kind of trace around with the darker color just to kind of outline it just a little bit. There we go. And then this is the light color. I'm just going to come in and color him in. And you can color your little envelope if you want. You can color them any color you want. I'm just going to kind of do it with the little lighter Pool Party color. So, or you can leave it white. That's fine too. And then again, I used the Flirty Flamingo for his little body. You can use, if you think that's too pink for you, if you don't like it, there also is a Petal Pink Stampin' Blend if you want something that's a little bit lighter. I kind of like the pink myself, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to kind of color him in. Or you could use any color. You could make him yellow if you wanted. Or red. And I think I'm gonna, where'd it go? I'm gonna give him his little dots. We're gonna make him kind of just give him a little bit of color down there. Okay, so he is going to be actually glued directly on. I am gonna put one dimensional on this side so that he'll be even, but if you put it on both sides, it's going to be kind of lopsided. So you only want one right on this side. So I'm going to actually grab one, flip it over so I make sure I have it on the right side. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the other side so that it will adhere to the card and won't come off. So I'm going to take the backing off of that and make sure, just kind of slide it over till I can feel the little dimensional hit the edge, and there you go. And then the last thing to do is to take the other scrap piece of your ribbon and make another little bow to put on there. So I hope you're following along okay. If I'm going too fast for you, remember this is a video, so you can stop it, you can rewind it, you can watch it as many times as you want. Or you can, make these cards now. You can use the directions that I sent you the other day and make more cards later, and then you can watch it again to help you make more cards. So, and just remember too that you can use these same designs with other papers. So you don't have to use it only for the snail set. If you have other papers that you like and you kind of like the design of the card, then just use it with other papers and you'll have like a whole different card. Oop, just knocked my stuff. Kind of scoot that out of the way. Get that off. There we go. There's our second card. Okay, I'm just going to check my video and make sure it's still working. Yep, we're still working. Okay, so now we're going to do the inside, because I almost forgot. So this is the inside piece that we set aside a minute ago. I need to move that out of the way so I don't get ink on me. And this piece is just going to go across the bottom. I did leave a little space there. You can and then we're just going to adhere this to the inside of our card. Okay, so I know this card is white and you can write right on there, but I just think it just kind of makes it look a little fancier if you have this extra piece inside. So that's why. So if you don't want to use this piece, you don't have to. But I just like the way it looks when you open it up. And you have that extra piece. And there we go. Now we're done. Okay, card number 2. Okay, so now I'm going to set that aside and we're going to do card number 3. And that is this card right here. So it has a little envelope, and when you open it up, there's another like little letter on the inside. So this card kit looks like this with this piece of Bermuda Bay in it. So you should have a piece of cardstock for that. You have 2 white pieces. They're both the same size. One's for the outside, one's for the inside. And get all the other little pieces out. You do have a little strip to decorate the inside with, so if you want to set those aside, you can get them out of the way. And then you also have a longer strip, yellow, to go around the side. You have a little scallop strip that we're going to attach right here to the edge. You have 2 little squares. One of them we're going to put this little piece on. And then you have 2 little tiny squares, which will be the little envelope things. And then this is your envelope that we're going to make. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set the envelope stuff aside. We're going to start assembling our card. So this piece is going to go actually on the front of our card. So I'm going to fold it up. Give it a good burnish so it stays nice and folded. And nope, we're not going to put that on yet. Sorry. We're going to put this on here first because we have to wrap some of our twine around there. So in your package that you received with all your things in it, your paper and stuff in it, you also got this package of twine. So we're going to be using some of this pink. So if you want to go ahead and get that out, you can do that. So So I'm just going to take mine out of the envelope here. So we are going to need to use that. So, but first we're going to attach this piece to our white piece. It's going to go, well, let me back up because I almost forgot this piece. We're going to attach this piece to this. So I'm going to put it on my paper right on the edge. And then I'm going to lay this on top of this piece, kind of right where I want it. So you want to be able to see the little stitching that goes down the side, and then I'm just going to kind of press that into place. And you can see it covered up where I put the glue on the back. I think it's easier to do it that way than to put the glue on the little pink piece. So I'm going to put that on first. Now we're going to put it on the front of our card. So now we can do a little bit of gluing or adhering or taping, however you want to say it. And this piece is going to go right to the edge. So if you're using glue, you can kind of smoosh it around so that you get all the edges even. And just kind of give it a good press down. Okay, so now we're going to take some of this and we're going to wrap it around here 2 times. So I'm actually going to kind of leave a bit of a tail here. And then I'm going to wrap it once and wrap it twice. And then because we're going to tie it in the middle, I'm going to leave a little extra here and just cut it off. And then I'm going to tie it pretty much right in the middle. So if you have trouble tying and you don't want the stuff to move around, you can put a little glue dot right underneath where you're going to be putting, where you've kind of tied it, so which would be right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And as soon as I get my things here, they got twisted here a little. There we go. As soon as I find my glue dots, right there, right next to me. So I'm just going to take a little glue dot and just kind of holding it kind of about where I want it, and just put it right underneath and press down on it. And that'll hold your twine in place so that you can actually tie the bow and not worry about coming undone or coming untied and then getting too loose. So I can see what I'm doing. Can't see what I'm doing. Got to turn it a little bit this way. There we go. So you're just going to tie it in a bow and then just kind of adjust your bow depending on how big you had it or how big you want it. Then this end I'm just going to trim off just a tiny bit. Okay, there you go. So now that's going to stay on there. So now we're going to attach this piece to the front of our card. Just going to go on just like that. Yep, let me scoot it up, make sure I'm still on the camera here. So I'm just going to put a little glue there, flip it over. It keeps moving around. And attach it right to the front of my card, just like that. Okay. And now we're going to play with these little squares. So this one, I'm going to attach this piece to the front. So we're just going to put a little glue on the back. And I'm just going to attach it onto here. Kind of looks like scribbles of a letter. I'm not sure if there's a right side up or an upside down. To me, it kind of goes this way. So, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this one to attach it to the front of our card, because you know I just like dimensionals. Take the backs off of those. And then I'm just going to kind of put it on diagonal. I'm going to make sure my bow here is out of the way so it doesn't get caught underneath. It can go over the top of your twine. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't cover up the bow so that the bow will still be there. Okay, and then this piece is going to go this way. So you only need a dimensional in these two corners on the right hand side. Maybe this one if you put the small ones on there, the smaller dimensionals. This corner here, you just need to put a little bit of glue on. So I'm actually going to use the smaller size dimensionals as soon as I find them. Nope, those are big ones. Here we go, small ones. So I don't want one under this one, so I'm going to hold that one. So that's the one I know that I don't want to put one on. There we go. And so you can kind of feel it where they are. So, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in this corner, the one that I don't have it on. Then I'm going to take these off. And you don't need to worry about putting a dimensional in the middle because the middle of this is actually on top of the other one. So if you put one in the middle, it would be kind of lumpy. So you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to kind of put it just like that. There you go. And now we're going to play with this little envelope here. Oop, I got a dimensional thing stuck to my hand. So this is your little envelope. This is one of the dies from the set. It looks like this. And you can see there's kind of stitching all around. So, but there are score marks. So you're actually just going to fold the flaps in to the wrong side of your envelope. And you don't need, so you can fold that one. And then now that I kind of got them folded, I'm just going to kind of crease them all really good. Okay, and all you need to hold this together is one little glue dot. So if you notice this little envelope, you're going to fold the two middle flaps in first, and then if you fold one of the flaps up, it doesn't go all the way to the top here, but we want ours to go to all the way to the top. So the other flap, you'll notice if you fold it in, it goes all the way to the top. This is the one that we're going to put the glue dot on. So we're going to put the glue dot right there. So if you don't have glue dots and are using glue, you want to just put a little bit of glue right on that corner. And the reason is that if we do it that way with just a little glue dot, then we can still open the little envelope so you can tuck something inside. If you glue this all down, you won't be able to put anything inside of it. And that's why I'm only using one little piece there. So I just take the envelope, and this is the one I want to put the glue dot on. I just flip it over, press it right down on the glue dot, just like that. So you can see the glue dot there. Fold those in, fold that up, just give it a good press. And voila, you have an envelope that you can tuck things in. And this is one of the things we're going to tuck inside, is one of these little pieces. Okay, so we can go ahead and attach this to our card. We're just going to turn it over and put some glue on the back, just like this, or adhesive, whatever you're using. And then we're just going to kind of put it kind of right in the middle of your little square there, just like that. Okay, these little pieces, just going to stamp a little heart on. If you don't have a heart, you can draw one. So all you need is a little black marker. In fact, that's what this line is going around. It's just a black pen. You can use a permanent marker like a Sharpie, the really thin ones, or you can just use just a regular pen. I am going to stamp a heart because this stamp set does have a little heart on it. So I am going to do that. I'm going to put one on each one right in the center at the top. Put one there and one there, and then, whoops, kind of got smeared there. Let's try that again. You don't have to press down very hard with these stamps so you don't get that little shadow piece there. So just be careful when you're stamping. I am gonna just color this in with my Stampin' Blends marker, a little bit of red. But like, you can color this with a colored pencil. Any other, red type marker you have will work also. So I'm just going to color that in. And then I just drew the little lines around the outside with my pen. You can leave them just like this. You don't need to do that. If you just want to leave it just like this without the lines on it, you can do that. It would look just like that. You can see the difference. So I kind of like the black line around the outside. So I just took my pen, and it doesn't have to be exact. You're just kind of following along the edge. And there we go. And I'm going to do the same with this other piece. Just drawing right around the edge with this is just a regular pen that I use. It's a fine tip. It's not a ballpoint pen. It is call it a precise rolling ball pen. I don't know. These are my favorite pens. I use them all the time for writing. I just like them better than ballpoint pens. Okay, so just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this so that it won't slide down too far in the envelope. And then we're just going to kind of slide it in as far as you want and leave it just like that. Now this piece is your other piece. You have a little strip. You can put it down the side if you want. If you'd rather have it at the bottom, you can put it at the bottom, although mine is kind of directional, so if I put it in the bottom, my little heart down at the bottom here would be sideways. So I'm just going to put a teeny little bit of glue right down the middle. As soon as all right, now my glue's stuck. There we go. So you don't want very much, just a really thin line. And just going to run it right down the side here. You can do it on either side. I'm just choosing the left-hand side. I don't know why. So there we go. And then I'm just going to put this other little letter here just in the other corner. So again, you can put this anywhere you want. I kind of like it in the corner, so I'm just going to kind of put it right there. And then I got ink. There we go. And then this is going to go on the inside of your card, just like that. Okay. And then this card is almost done. Okay, there we go. So that's the inside of your card, and that's the outside. Oh, I forgot the little hello. Forgot to stamp that. So I can come back and do that. This is real red ink that I did it with. You can choose any color. You can do it in black. You can do it in Bermuda Bay, pink. I'm just choosing to do it in red because my stamp was already inked up with red. And there we go. A little hello. So there is card number 3. And we have one more card to go. So you can tell it got sunny out because now you see sun on my on my card sheet here. So actually I might need to close the blind so you don't see that. Hold on. See if I can get rid of that a little bit. Yep, that might be a little bit better. There you go. So this is the last card we're gonna do. It has 2 tiny little snails on it. And obviously this is the last card kit that you have, so which is the yellow. So you have a piece of yellow, you have a piece of Bermuda Bay, and a piece of Whisper White. This Whisper White is for the middle of your card, for the inside. This is going to go on the outside. You have some paper with big mushrooms on it. You have 2 scalloped rectangles, and you probably have a piece that looks like this inside or something similar. These 2 little snails here, they're facing opposite directions, are the ones that you're going to cut out, fussy cut out. In fact, I'm fussy cutting mine too, to put on here. And then if you have the stamp set, there is a stamp that has all these little mushrooms on it, which I forgot to put on a thing. If you don't have the stamp set, there are mushrooms on, find a block to put this on, in your paper, and you can cut them out, and I'll show you those in just a second. So this is the stamp, if you have the stamp. So some of these are just scraps that I have, but you can see, where's my big mushroom? I'm missing one. Anyway, so, but you can cut the mushrooms out of your paper, and I'm going to cut some of them out so you can kind of make your own little mushroom pile over here. So I'm going to cut some of these smaller ones out so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I am going to fussy cut here for a minute. So if you want to, if you don't have the stamp set and you want to find your mushroom paper, you will need to do a little bit of fussy cutting. And you can pick whichever ones you want. Like this one has some like little red stripes on it. This one is yellow. Might do some of the smaller ones. So when you're fussy cutting, you do want to leave just a little bit of white around the outside. If you cut it right on the line, you might accidentally cut the line off, and then you don't have a line at all. So there's one. Let's cut this little guy out here. So the good fun thing about this paper is pretty much anything, if you don't have the stamp set, you can use the paper to cut your snails, to cut the mushrooms. One of the other little pieces, if you don't have the hello stamp, you can cut out one of the little hello pieces. This is the back side of one of the papers that we used earlier. You could even fussy cut some of these tiny little mushrooms, but I think cutting the bigger ones is easier. So I am gonna cut these out here, trying to stay in the camera here and be able to see what I'm doing at the same time. I'm gonna cut that off because that's driving me crazy. So the trick to fussy cutting is your scissors stay in one place and you move the paper. So if you'll see my scissors, the hand with my scissors is not moving, and I'm moving the paper to kind of cut around it. And there's 2. And let's cut one of these tall ones. I'm gonna cut one of these tall ones out too. And I had a piece that had a bigger mushroom on it. That was a full-size one, but I must have moved it from where I had it sitting. So we're just gonna go with these. So you can make your own little mushroom scene here with these. So I'm going to cut these out first, so then when we go to put the rest of the card together, these will all be done. So hopefully you are doing a little bit of fussy cutting yourself. And these are fairly easy to do because it's pretty much, you know, kind of straight lines, a little bit of curves, but not very, obviously to go around the mushroom tops, but not much. So they go pretty quick. And then you will need to fussy cut your 2 little snails out too. So these are my 2 little snails. So I am going to fussy cut those while we're here. If you want, you can cut around your little presents. I kind of gave you the whole big piece. And I'm just gonna kind of cut around it. And if you'll notice, I did color the little shells on mine. You can see that the ones on the paper are not colored. So I just kind of colored them in just to kind of make them look different. You don't have to if you don't want. Then you could have little twin snails. So you kind of have to be careful cutting around their eyeballs so you don't cut their eyelashes off, or eyelids. I don't know if that's an eyelash or an eyelid, part of their eyelid. And you don't have to cut down in between their two little eye antennae, eyes. You can just kind of cut around the top. And yeah, I don't mind fussy cutting. I know a lot of people really hate it, but I don't mind doing it. So that's why I make you do it too. You might not appreciate that, but might not like to fussy cut. Sometimes when I'm fussy cutting, I'll do it like when I'm watching TV or something. So like I'll know I want certain pieces, so I'll just kind of set it aside and I'll just cut a whole bunch out all at the same time. And then I just have them and I just put them inside my stamp case or with my paper to use them, you know, next time I'm making a card, even if I'm not using them all at the same time. So, like I've cut a bunch of these already and I have a bunch of presents, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all the presents yet, because you can see them on the paper too. I'm trying to stay over here so you can see what I'm doing. Not that it's, you know, exciting to watch me fussy cut, but it's not really that hard. I do kind of do it slow. I've seen some people that like whip it right out, and I just am not that fast at doing it. There we go. Okay, so I have 2 snails. I got a couple mushrooms. So we'll just show you real quick that even if you don't have the stamp set, you can still make a little mushroom scene for your snails. So kind of like, I mean, you can pile them up however you want, but you know, something similar to that. And you can color them in some more. If you wanted to color in the stem some, you can do that. So anyway, so let's put the card together. I'm going to move that off to the side. So we have a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock. It's already scored, so you're just going to fold it in the middle, give it a really good crease. Then we have a piece of Bermuda Bay and a piece with other little mushrooms on it. So we are going to just attach that to the front right there. We're going to glue it on there. So I'm just flipping that over and gluing. And that's going to go right there. Okay. There is a little bit of ribbon in here. There's no bow, so you can make one if you want. I gave you enough. If you wanted to make a bow, you could. But this is actually just going to be wrapped right around the middle. So I'm just going to, like we did on the other cards, I'm just going to kind of give it enough to go over the ends, like that. Just put a little adhesive here so it'll stick, so I can get it on my card. It's really windy here today. You probably can't hear it, but I can hear the wind outside my window. All right, why are we stuck again? Come on. Nope. There we go. Phew. Okay. So I literally just kind of picked what I thought was the middle and just kind of wrapped it around and stuck it down. And then I am gonna cut off a piece. You have extra ribbon, you can use it for another card, or you can make a little bow if you want. So then this piece is going to be attached right to the front of our card, just like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue all around the outside. So when you're gluing, you don't need a lot of glue. So you're basically just kind of drawing on it with your little glue holder. So, and then I'm just going to adhere it down. So right in the middle. Make sure the opening of your card is at the bottom. That's always a good thing. Okay, so now we're going to do these. So you can see what it looks like if it's stamped. If I was stamping, I would stamp directly onto here. And then these two little guys are on dimensionals. But since we fussy cut the mushrooms out, I'm going to show you the alternative for those of you that don't have the stamp of putting on the little mushrooms. So I'm going to put the tallest one on first. I'm going to move this out of the way because that's going to drive me crazy. The tallest one. You can color these, and I think I'm going to give him a little bit of color on the bottom. I'm just going to give him a little bit of yellow on the bottom, so he's not quite so white. Oops, let me do the other end. Ah, just dropped my lid. Oh, I'll find it. We'll switch these at the moment. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna set that aside because I dropped the lid on the floor. I am gonna trim this up a little bit because I don't like the way I cut it. I'm just gonna trim a little bit more of the white off. There we go. Okay, so I am going to just glue him straight down. So, and then the other ones I'm going to put up on dimensional, so they'll kind of pop up, so they'll look like one's in the background, and then the other ones are kind of like sitting in front a little bit. So I think I'm going to color this one too, because he just looks like he needs to be colored. So we're going to color the top. I'm going to use the other end. You can leave him white. I just think he looks better with a little bit more color. And you can choose any colors you want to do. Let's color the inside here. And maybe we'll give him a little pink bottom here. Because why not? There we go. And I think we'll leave that guy, we'll leave him kind of white. Okay, so I am going to put some dimensionals on these just to make them pop up a little bit. And I'm going to use the bigger ones. Let's flip that over. I'll put two of these on here. And I'm going to stick a little one down on the bottom on this one because his stem, because the big one would be too big. So I'm just going to put them. And you can put these on here however you want. You know, there's no right or wrong way, obviously. But let's see, which one do I want to put which way? He's kind of leaning that way. I think I'm going to kind of do mine kind of like that. There we go. And then these little guys that we cut out, if you want to color their shells, you can. So I am going to color mine. Let's see. Let's give you a little dark one in the middle. And since I have my yellow still out, give you a little bit of yellow. they just look good with color. I think I'll put a little bit of yellow over here. And that's the one I dropped on the floor. And a little bit of red on here. And then the sentiment stamp on this one is one of the stamps from the set. It says, "You snailed it," which is kind of cute. Like they're kind of like they're congratulating each other. So I am going to stamp that first before I put my two little guys on, just so I don't, they aren't in the way. So I am going to stamp that in Bermuda Bay ink, which is the same color as the pieces of cardstock we used. I'm just going to ink that up and move those out of the way. Just going to stamp right here in the corner. There we go. And then I'm going to put these two little guys on, again, using dimensionals, because why not? And they're kind of small, so you really just kind of need, whoop, let's flip him over, one for each side. You can put a little one underneath his head if you want. You don't have to, but you can. Or you can use all little ones. That's fine too. And then we're just going to put him on the front. And so this way you can kind of see what it looks like if it's stamped or if you're just putting on, I'm going to put the other one on first, the pieces that you've cut. So I do want to make sure he gets onto the little card here. So I'm just going to scoot them together kind of like that. There we go. So there's with all cut out pieces, and this one is obviously stamped. So when we're done with this, we are going to attach it to here. We're just going to glue that together. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the back and glue that on. Just like that. Okay, and then this one is going to go right in the center of our card. And I did put this on dimensionals because, you know, that's what I do. You don't have to. You can just put it right on. You can just glue it right on if you want. I just kind of like the look of seeing things popped up just a little bit. I'm going to put some more here on the side so it doesn't get saggy. But that's my personal preference. So of course I tell you to do that too, because, you know, why not? I got these are everywhere. Okay, and then this is just going to go right in the center of our card, just like that. And then this other little piece just is going to go right on the inside. And if you want, you can fussy cut some more little mushrooms and put them right here on the inside. Oh, here's my other big piece. So, or you could pick like one of the bigger mushrooms and stick him right in the corner. So whatever you want. I think I'm going to cut one of these little guys and put him in the middle. So these are our 4 cards. So I hope you enjoyed making these with me, or if you made them by yourself using the tutorials. If you have any questions, please ask me. Just email me, text me, you know, whatever you need. And when you get this video, I'm going to email it to you, the link to it, and you can save it wherever you want, so that you have access to it for as long as you want it. It won't go anywhere. It will be in a special link, so it's not public to everybody else, since obviously you paid for this class, and so it's special just for you. And I put my thing on crooked, but I can fix that later. Scoot it up just a little. I put mine on a little crooked. There you go. There's your other card. So those are your 4 cards. So if you have any questions, like I said, just let me know. So there's 1, There's 3, there's 1, and there's the last one. So those are the 4 cards that we just made. So I hope you had fun with this set. I hope you have fun with the paper. It's great paper. There's lots of fun things that you can do with it. And I will be posting some more cards using the same set of paper on my blog. So if you want to check those out, they'll give you a couple more ideas of how you can use this paper set. So have a great day and hope you had fun making the cards.